Have you ever paused amidst the familiar verses of Scripture and wondered about the stories that ripple beneath the surface? Tales of angels, celestial conflicts, and the echoes of choices made in the heart of eternity. We know of the great rebellion, the fall of Lucifer, and the legions cast into darkness. But what if that story isn't quite complete? What if, veiled by centuries of divine silence, there exists a narrative of redemption of a fallen angel who dared to return bearing a secret so profound it could redefine everything we believe about the war in heaven and its enduring consequences? Imagine an angel who plunged into the abyss alongside Lucifer, not driven by malice, but by a heart overwhelmed by the complexities of divine will. An angel who against all odds found his way back to the celestial realm, carrying a burden of knowledge that heaven itself deemed too dangerous to be revealed. His name is Namtael, and his untold story holds the key to unlocking a mystery that has been whispered among early mystics, hinted at in forgotten manuscripts, and feared even by the most vigilant of watchers. His journey challenges our understanding of good and evil, of forgiveness and judgment, and of the hidden currents that still flow through the corridors of heaven. Why does Scripture remain silent about him? What compelled heaven to breach its own laws and welcome back a fallen one? And most crucially, what did Namtael witness in the abyss that remains shrouded in secrecy, a truth so potent that its revelation could shatter the foundations of our understanding? If you possess the courage to delve into the unknown, to confront the uncomfortable questions that lie at the edge of accepted dogma, then join us as we embark on a quest to uncover the truth about Namtael, the angel who returned from the dark. Welcome to Bible Mysteries, where we peel back the layers of Scripture to expose the enigmatic, the concealed, and the powerful narratives that resonate through eternity. If you are captivated by the mysteries of angels, the drama of cosmic conflicts, and the pursuit of truths concealed within the sacred texts, then show your support by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and activating the notification bell to ensure you never miss the revelations we are about to unveil. Prepare to journey beyond the familiar, to explore the uncharted territories of faith, and discover the story of the angel who dared to come back. Who was Namtael? Long before the first sunrise kissed the face of Earth, before the constellations painted their patterns across the cosmic canvas, Namtael inhabited the sacred inner courts of heaven. He was not a warrior like the formidable Michael, nor a messenger like the swift-winged Gabriel. Namtael possessed a different, more contemplative role. He was a guardian of the scrolls, a keeper of time, memory, and divine prophecy. His name, God's recorder, reflected his celestial duty. He was a scribe of the divine, meticulously chronicling not only events, but also the very intentions that birthed them. He possessed an intimate knowledge of what was to come, yet he was bound by the laws of heaven, forbidden from interfering with the unfolding tapestry of fate. He traversed the hallowed halls of the eternal palace, a silent observer, as galaxies ignited in the void, meticulously recording the decisions of every angel before they even crystallized into action. But within Namtael's celestial perfection lay a single defining trait that would ultimately shape his destiny: an extraordinary capacity for empathy. Unlike some of his fellow scribes who approached their task with detached objectivity, Namtael felt deeply. He was moved by the sublime beauty of creation, the intricate harmony of the cosmos, and the profound mysteries of divine design. He found himself particularly drawn to humanity, marveling at its paradoxical nature, flawed and fragile, yet imbued with a spark of the divine, a reflection of God's own image. And when Lucifer, the morning star, began to sow seeds of doubt and discord among the angelic ranks, Namtael did not instinctively rise to denounce him. Instead, he listened not out of agreement or allegiance, but out of an earnest desire to comprehend. He sought to understand the roots of Lucifer's discontent, the motivations that drove him to question the established order of heaven. This act of listening, of seeking understanding, marked the turning point in Namtael's fate. It was the seed that would blossom into his fall and ultimately his extraordinary return. Let me pose a question that demands introspection. Have you ever found yourself caught between two opposing sides, unable to definitively choose one over the other? Not out of weakness or indecision, but because you recognized a glimmer of truth, a valid perspective in both. This was the dilemma that consumed Namtael. His fall was not born of malice or rebellion, but from the torment of being torn between conflicting loyalties. As the day of the Great Rebellion dawned, as a third of the stars were violently swept from the sky in the cataclysmic clash between light and darkness, Namtael found himself among the fallen, but for reasons far different from those of his brethren. The moment the heavens were rent asunder by the fires of war, Namtael was not engulfed by flames or consumed by chaos. Instead, he was enveloped by an unbearable silence, a silence that descends when trust is irrevocably broken, when the foundations of belief crumble into dust. It was a silence so profound that time itself seemed to hold its breath. Namtael did not join Lucifer in his defiant roar of rebellion. He did not cry out in hatred or seek vengeance against the celestial forces. He simply felt his scrolls clutched tightly in his hands, his heart heavy with sorrow. He watched a silent observer as Michael's incandescent sword cleaved through the stars, as the radiant light of countless angels was extinguished, replaced by the burning embers of fury. Though he never raised his hand against heaven, neither did he stand in its defense. And so Namtael was counted among the fallen. But unlike the others who reveled in their descent, who embraced the darkness with unmet glee, who clawed and screamed and burned with unquenchable rage, Namtael remained an observer. He descended not in wrath, but in profound sorrow, his spirit weighed down by the immense tragedy that had unfolded. Envision it. An angel entrusted with the sacred duty of preserving divine memory, cast into a realm where memory is distorted, where reality itself becomes fluid and unreliable. This was the abyss. Not hell, the fiery lake of eternal damnation. Not a place of torment and punishment, but something far more insidious. A liminal space, a region between worlds where the fallen were condemned to wait, where time dissolved into an indistinguishable blur, and where regret became its own inescapable prison. The ancients referred to it as the outer darkness, the desolate realm where the watchers were chained, their power diminished, their purpose lost. In this place, silence did not signify peace. It signified that something was always watching, always listening, always waiting. And Namtael wandered through this desolate landscape, his precious scrolls clutched to his chest, desperately trying to record the unfolding horrors, to preserve some semblance of truth amidst the swirling chaos. But the ink refused to flow, his divine pen rendered useless by the pervasive distortion. Even his celestial instrument, capable of transcribing the very thoughts of God, could not capture the essence of truth in a place deliberately constructed to defy it. Here lies another anomaly, a curious twist in Namtael's story. He was never claimed by Lucifer. The proud and arrogant morning star, eager to bolster his ranks, laid claim to many of the fallen angels, promising them power and dominion in his new kingdom of darkness. Azael, Samael, Astaroth. They pledged their allegiance to Lucifer, willingly embracing his rebellion. But Namtael remained aloof, a solitary figure walking his own path through the abyss. The other demons viewed him with suspicion, distrustful of his motives. Heaven, on the other hand, had slammed its gates shut forever, barring his return. He became a myth, an enigma, even among the damned, known as the scribe without a throne, an angel who belonged neither to heaven nor hell. But it was in the deepest recesses of this darkness, amidst the swirling chaos and the pervasive despair, that Namtael stumbled upon something that even Lucifer, in his insatiable quest for power, had overlooked: a door. Not a physical portal, but a veil, a shimmering boundary, where the immutable laws of heaven and hell momentarily overlapped, creating a brief, terrifying convergence. And on the other side of this veil, a whisper reached out to him. It was not a demonic growl, nor an angelic song. It was something older, something primal, a voice that did not tempt or curse, but simply inquired, "Why do you still carry the scrolls?" Namtael answered without uttering a word, his response resonating through his very being, "Because if I do not remember the truth, no one will." At that moment, the whisper transformed. It began to reveal visions to him, not of the past, not of the great war that had shattered heaven, but of the future. A future that even the celestial hosts in their infinite wisdom were unaware of. A future war far more devastating than the first rebellion that would threaten the very fabric of creation. And right there, amidst the oppressive darkness of the abyss, Namtael began to record everything he saw. Every detail, every horror, every act of betrayal. The scrolls, once merely a record of the past, became something altogether different. A secret weapon, a repository of knowledge so potent that even the most powerful seraphim would tremble if they ever dared to read it. No fallen angel had ever returned to heaven. Not truly. There were rumors, of course, whispered in ancient scrolls and obscure texts, hinting that some might have been pardoned or hidden away their fates, shrouded in mystery. But nothing on this scale, nothing to compare with Namtael's audacious return. He did not plead for forgiveness. He did not offer bribes or promises. He did not attempt to sneak back into the celestial realm under the cover of darkness. Instead, he simply walked directly toward the gates of heaven, his eyes cast downward in humility, the scroll wrapped in heavy chains of iron. The angels guarding the gates, seraphim, whose wings blazed with celestial fire and whose eyes shone like miniature suns, recognized him instantly. Namtael had once walked these sacred paths. He had known their names. He had recorded their thoughts and intentions. But now they regarded him as a stranger, as a potential threat. Their faces hardened with suspicion. And when they raised their flaming swords, preparing to strike him down for his transgression, he did not flinch. He simply knelt before them, a gesture of submission and respect. At that moment, Michael, the Archangel of War, the commander of heaven's armies, appeared before him. His sword still radiated heat from the ancient rebellion, its edge honed by countless battles against the forces of darkness. His voice thundered through the celestial realm. "Namtael, why have you returned?" Namtael uttered only these words, his voice filled with a profound sense of urgency. "Because what I carry does not belong in hell, and it cannot remain solely in my hands." Michael, ever vigilant, ever ready to defend heaven against its enemies, hesitated. He sensed something in Namtael's demeanor that he did not expect: fear. Not the fear of punishment, not the fear of death, but a deeper, more unsettling fear of what was yet to come. Heaven operates according to its own immutable laws, its own intricate system of justice. And so Namtael was brought before the celestial throne, where the very essence of God's presence radiated with unimaginable power. The Book of Enoch speaks of the fate that befalls those who dare to approach the throne after participating in rebellion. The sheer intensity of divine presence acts as a consuming fire, instantly unraveling the unworthy, obliterating them before they can even utter a single word. But Namtael was granted permission to speak. And as he unrolled his scroll, its ancient parchment crackling with untold secrets, even the 24 elders, the celestial beings who constantly surround the throne, averted their eyes, unable to bear the weight of the knowledge it contained. He did not read the scroll aloud, did not publicly proclaim its contents. He simply stated, his voice resonating with solemnity. This was never meant to be known, but I could not allow it to be lost. What was written within that scroll? Some speculate that it contained a prophecy of a second war in heaven, a conflict that would dwarf the first rebellion in its scope and devastation. Others believe that it revealed the names of angels who would betray the throne in the final days, succumbing to darkness and plunging heaven into chaos. Still others claim that it revealed the secret that God whispered to Lucifer before casting him down, the hidden truth that brought a sardonic smile to the morning star's face as he fell into the abyss. Whatever its true content, God himself read the scroll, and the skies of heaven fell silent for 7 days. The celestial choirs hushed, the eternal rhythms of creation momentarily suspended. Then a decision was made. Namtael would be allowed to remain in heaven, but not in his former capacity. He could not return to the esteemed circle of scribes, could not participate in the celestial choirs. He would live on the periphery of heaven, hidden from view, perpetually watching, perpetually recording forever, a silent sentinel guarding against a storm that had not yet broken. And most importantly, the scroll itself was sealed, wrapped in 7 layers of divine inscription, hidden away in a chamber where no light could penetrate, guarded by an angel whose name remains unknown, lost to the annals of celestial history. Only God possesses the authority to unseal it, and only when the end draws near. They say that heaven is built upon truth, its foundations resting on the unwavering pillars of honesty and integrity. But what happens when truth becomes too dangerous to speak? Namtael returned from the abyss bearing a scroll, a single scroll, wrapped in chains of divine light, sealed with silence, bound in a language that only heaven could comprehend. No angel has ever openly described its contents. No record of its existence was ever added to the official celestial texts. Even the most diligent scribes of eternity were forbidden from copying it, from even attempting to decipher its enigmatic script. But those few who caught a fleeting glimpse of its contents were forever changed. Some began to fast without being commanded, their bodies instinctively rejecting the sustenance of heaven. Others wept uncontrollably, overcome by a grief they could not explain, their hearts aching with an unknown sorrow. Because the scroll held something far more profound than a mere prophecy. It contained a secret, a deadly secret, that threatened to unravel the very fabric of heaven. One theory passed down through the oldest oral traditions suggests that the scroll contains a premonition of a future betrayal of heaven by one of its own. Not Lucifer, not a resurrection of the old rebellion, but a new treachery, one still waiting to unfold in the annals of time. Namtael brought this warning back, not to accuse, not to condemn, but to record, to ensure that when the signs began to manifest, someone in heaven would know where to look, would be able to recognize the impending darkness. Some even whisper that the scroll contains a specific name, the name of the angel who will betray heaven in the final days, the one who will open the gates to chaos and usher in the ultimate destruction. That is why it was sealed with such meticulous care, because if even a single being were to read that name too early, it could unleash the forces of war before their appointed time, triggering a preemptive strike that would consume half of creation before prophecy could be fulfilled. And so heaven chose silence, accepting the burden of hidden knowledge as the price of maintaining order. Namtael too accepted his fate, bearing the immense weight of his secret with unwavering resolve. Can you imagine the torment of carrying such a secret, of knowing that you hold the key to preventing the destruction of heaven, yet being forbidden to speak of it? Every time he encounters a brother angel, a pang of suspicion must pierce his heart. Is it you? Are you the one who will betray us? Every time he watches over earth and sees chaos rise, he must wonder, is this the moment? Is this the beginning of the end? Would you be able to carry such a burden? Could you hold your tongue while the world spins towards something terrible, knowing that the power to avert disaster lies within your grasp, yet being bound by divine decree to remain silent, because God has commanded, "Not yet"? That is Namtael's curse, his eternal burden. He is not a warrior, not a judge. He is merely a witness and observer, and the scroll he holds will not be opened until the very last trumpet sounds signaling the beginning of the final act. But the question that should trouble us, the question that lingers in the air like a haunting melody, is this: why did God allow him to see it? Why choose Namtael, a fallen angel, a returnee, a once broken soul, to carry the secret of heaven's final betrayal, unless it is because of where he has been, because he has experienced darkness firsthand? He has touched it, wrestled with it, and emerged from its clutches, scarred, but not broken. And perhaps, just perhaps, he is the only one who can recognize its insidious presence when it rises again, cloaked in deceit and masquerading as light. There is something deeply unsettling about a story that does not conclude with a resounding victory or a crushing defeat, but with a secret, a silent promise of future conflict. Namtael did not return to heaven as a hero lauded and celebrated for his courage. He was not welcomed back into the fold with open arms, nor was he honored by the celestial thrones. He was never fully reintegrated into the choir, never allowed to reclaim his former position among the scribes. He was not assigned to oversee new creations, nor was he entrusted with any significant responsibility. He simply waited, perpetually vigilant on the outer edges of glory near the veil that separates eternity from time, forever bound to the scroll that held the fate of heaven. That same scroll, wrapped in 7 layers of silence, rests in a hidden chamber beyond the reach of any angel, any demon, or any mortal man. Only God knows if it will ever be unsealed, and if it is, it will signify one thing: the end has begun. Perhaps Namtael was not allowed to fight in the first rebellion because his true purpose lies in the future, in the unfolding of the final war. Perhaps that war will not begin with a thunderous trumpet blast, but with a subtle whisper, a barely audible warning carried on the wind. And perhaps Namtael will be the one to deliver it, his voice breaking through the silence that has held heaven captive for millennia. But here is the part of the story that brings it all into focus, that makes it relevant to our lives. You and I. We live in the midst of this story right now. We inhabit the space between the silence and the sound, between the warning and the unveiling. We do not know what is written within the scroll, but perhaps we were never meant to. Perhaps what truly matters is not what Namtael saw, but what we choose to see in the present moment. So as we journey through the captivating tale of Namtael, the angel who dared to return from the abyss, we uncover a powerful message about empathy, understanding, and the courage to grapple with uncomfortable truths. His story reminds us that even amidst cosmic conflicts and divine mysteries, there's always more to discover, more layers to peel back. It urges us to remain open to perspectives that challenge our beliefs and to seek truth even in the darkest corners. We've only just scratched the surface of Namtael's story, and the questions surrounding the sealed scroll and the future it foretells are still echoing. What do you think is written on that scroll? What are your theories about the future betrayal it might be warning of? We'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts, questions, and interpretations in the comments below. Let's delve into this mystery together. And if you're as captivated by the mysteries of Scripture as we are, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. We're just getting started, and you definitely won't want to miss part 2, where we'll continue to unpack the secrets of Namtael and explore other hidden narratives within the Bible. Join us as we continue to explore these fascinating stories.